So welcome to part two of this, guys. We have been studying this Russian model, celebrity Russian model, and we established the basic form. We began with laying down the basic shapes, the broader shapes, and then we talked about how you're supposed to visualize the lines and then go back and think about the lines on the paper before you draw them and then trace what you actually see, okay? So here I'm starting to shade it in part two, and this time I'm going to start looking for details, and I'm going to look and see if everything is very carefully matching this particular photograph, okay? So let's begin with the eye here, okay? So for example, you see this part. I want to get that right. I want to see that there's enough distance between here and where the eye is and where the upper eyelid is, okay? And those are the judgments, and I believe it's about like so. Once again, as you can see, I'm doing it faster. You want to do it much slower when you're doing this on your own time, but for practice sake, these are the I'm trying to go faster on this, okay? But if I was going slower, I would be more accurate. But for our purposes, think of it as a rough sketch. Once again, it's raw work. This is raw. It doesn't apply to any apps or any methods, any ways of drawing circles and then putting another circle in the middle and then putting a dot in the center and then drawing a line in the middle, those kinds of techniques. This is raw practice of visualizing with your mind, and the benefits are incredible. I'm not kidding. The benefits are incredible. I mean, no artist I've seen talk about this on YouTube or anywhere else. So I'm going to tell you right now, guys, here you're going to get these incredible tips of the real art, the raw art, the power of it, right, is what I'm talking about. So think about it for a minute. Now, when you look at this, right, please take a look at this. If you see this, the eye, the details are going to be very carefully matched with the photograph. So you see, here is where I'm now going to have to really, really slow down. And since we don't have time, I'm doing it faster, like I said. So there it is. And the eyeball, I'm sorry. And the way the eyeball sits inside the eye is also very important. And you want to make sure that these details are critical. So it must be exactly like, it must be positioned, and you must think about the distances on this side of the eye, the whites of the eye inside, right? And on this side. This one could actually be a little bit longer, but I'm going to leave that for later. We're trying to do the best we can within the 15 minutes that we have, guys. So there's that. And here is the other eyes, right like so, and it's actually disappearing into the thing, okay? Now for the eye, always remember there is a eyeball right in the center that's going to be very dark. And there'll be a reflection inside the eye, as you can see it. There's a reflection on top, and there is a reflection on the bottom. That's the way the eye should be. Okay, there is a reflection on the bottom, there's a reflection on the top, the middle is dark, and there's a trace of the outside you can see, okay? If it was in color, that's what you're going to have to work with. And the same thing here, there is a eyeball right in the center, a reflection of light, the glassy part, and then there's a reflection on the bottom as well. So that's the way the eye would look, okay? So the eye is right about like so. She has the eye things right there. There is the eye, okay? There's the other part of the eye. Now we go to this part. And here, once again, my concern is to make it look like her, and with the little time that I have. So what I'm trying to do is to use those markers that are on her face, right? Like, for example, the way the eyebrow is going like that, and there's that fine little thing right there. You see that fine little thingy on the edge of the eyebrow? That is so her. That is her. That's a marker. So you want to make sure that you stress that, right? When you do the likeness. And for example, this seems to be another marker. Like for example, the way the hair is going up here will bring about her likeness, will pop out her likeness right there. See that? The way this is. This is another unique thing about her, which is the way the cheekbones, right? And this cheekbone line is particularly a certain way. And if you can capture that, you're going to bring out her likeness. So and you see the distance. This, you don't want this to be too fat or too thick. You want it to be just right, you know, to capture her likeness. And the way, you see how this is tapering towards her forehead here? Those are the markers that are going to give you the likeness. You see that? This one and this one. I'm talking about this, and I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this. Take a look, you see? Those are the things I'm going to fix here, right? To bring about her likeness. You see that? And you see that slight difference is going to change the appearance. It's either going to look like her or not. So there you go. You see that? There is that. And then you come up here, and there is that. So you want to make sure that you get these bends, right? Those kind of these bends and everything. They are very important. So you want to be able to make sure that you include those in your drawing, okay? And so here you go. And then you come down. You want to make this judgment again to see that this isn't too thick or too thin. Because even if it's a little bit different this way or that, it's not going to look like her. So you have to make sure the bends are correct. And mimic these tiny little bends. You see that tiny pow. You see that? Boom, boom. You know, those are the things you want to be concerned. And I'm doing this absolutely at super speed, real time. Okay, super speed, real time. This is not easy to do as fast as I'm doing it. But for the beginners and for the intermediate kind of people or whatever, make sure that you're practicing every single time, okay? And remember that this is a very, very cool kind of special kind of study, okay? And you want to be able to do this a lot. You want to be able to do it all the time because it has benefits that are that are far-reaching. In all the other areas, you're going to benefit with your illustrations, you're going to benefit with your imagination, you're going to benefit with your daily life, you're going to benefit with your health, you're going to benefit with your mental health, with your spirituality, just about anything, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, this kind of drawing and practice is a lot of people don't do it, but those people that do it, they know what I'm talking about. It's excellent benefit for the mind and the body. Like I said, therapeutic. So you see this? So I'm kind of getting close to where I am. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember this is not a completely finished product by any chance, okay? And that's not my intention. My intention is to simply show you the process of how this works. I'm not looking to finish this product, and I can't. It takes longer than another 5 or 10 minutes. But you get the idea. If you are able to get this kind of likeness within this amount of time, then you're on the step of doing really well as you go along. Okay, that's one of the reasons I'm trying to show you that there is good in making quick sketches and thinking about it and then slowing down, going fast, going slow. These are all techniques. Okay, see now I'm shading in the mouth, keeping in mind those markers, right? Those elements that are going to make her look like her. So once again, too thick the eyebrow and too thick the shadow. So you want to fix all that. All right. The eyebrow seems to be like that. That's better. You know, comparatively better. All right. So you see how I got to. Okay. Is this the distance from the forehead? Is the forehead too big, too small? These are the questions you want to ask yourself as you are trying to complete your drawing. Okay. As you're trying to complete the project, ask these questions. Okay, here you go. The first question. Is the forehead too big or is it too small in relation to the nose? Is the nose too long or is it too short in relation to the forehead? Is, and that's the line I'm drawing here, guys, okay? Is the forehead too big in relation to the nose? Is the mouth placed too far away from the nose, or is it too close to the nose, or is it just right? In our case, it's kind of just right, almost, I guess, not quite. But you see that I'm talking about the distance the mouth is from the nose. How thick is the upper lip? How thick is the lower lip? Okay, how thick is that? How far away is the lower lip? And how big is the chin? Is it too big, too small? Is the lower lip in the right distance from the bottom of the chin? These are the questions. Is there any, did you leave enough room for the side of the eyes, in the middle of the eyes? Judge those distances again. These, okay? Is that correctly placed? And do you have the values, the shadows? All these come later on, which I don't have time for right now. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is an excellent way for you to think about as you practice your portraits from photographs with modern technology that's excellent, like the cell phone, and beautiful images for you to pull out and work on, and then to study it intellectually, to think about distances, to think about popping out, to think about perspective, to think about, for example, under the nose. These are things that you're intellectually thinking about, things that exist and that you know that exists. For example, there's a bend that's coming around the cheek like this, the forehead, these are things that you know, right? Like, for example, okay? So those are the things that you want to think about at this time, guys. Once again, 1 more minute left, and I just want to tell you this. To finish this, right, you want to go back, and this is by no means completely done, but it's kind of a rough draft, I guess. And there is the wonderful Russian model that we were able to achieve very quickly in 2 quick steps. Okay, so this is the way I want you to practice and do this. Now, finally, I want to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, is think about this. Ask these questions. Are the eyes appropriately placed? Do I have enough distance between the eyes? Are the eyebrows tilted correctly? Is the head tilted properly? Is it looking at you? And then the outlines. Are the outlines correct? Are they matching this? You see this outline? Is that too wide? Is that too thick? These are what you're going to have to tackle. These are the problems you'll be tackling, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I hope it helped you. Definitely subscribe to my channel. We're looking for support. So please subscribe and tune into all my other videos. Check them all out. Have a great day. All right. See you next time. Bye-bye.